that make absolutely no sense to you, but leave you wondering why did your mind and soul wander in such places. It is often frustrating to understand the components and the visuals of our dream. In ancient civilizations, dreams interpretation held high importance. It was sometimes considered as a divine communication or a holy intervention. People were using dreams to foresee things, and for example, in the Egyptian culture, kings were believed to influence the future of entire nations and its people by the means of dreams. On the other hand, in the Talmud book of Jewish laws, dreams that were not understood was considered as unopened letters. So in this video, we'll have a deeper look at how the ancient Egyptian civilization viewed dreams and how dreams were interpreted.
Dreams were so important in their daily life, but they had a god of dreams named Serapis. He was also the god of the underworld. Around 300 BCE, Serapis was created as a deity by the first pharaoh Ptolemy to unify the Egyptians and the Greeks. Several temples were built in Egypt and as far as reported in northern India and China in reverence to the god Serapis. There, trained priests could analyze and interpret people's dreams. Serapis was believed to bestow his followers with his healing and prophecy gifts by the means of divine dreams and visions. Egyptians used the messages in their dreams to cure illnesses, predict the future, make important state decisions, decide where to build temples, as well as knowing auspicious time to start a battle. Dreams were predictions of coming events. It could foresee disasters or good fortunes, and as such, one should understand their meanings. One of the most famous dreams is that of Thutmose IV, who had a dream that gave him instructions about how to become a pharaoh. Thutmose fell asleep near the Great Sphinx, and the latter appeared in his dreams and told him to clear the sand around him, and he would ascend to the throne.
So we know at this point now that the sand was covering the Sphinx. And in this dream, the Sphinx came to him and he said, "If you would clear away the sands from my body, I will make you king." And that's exactly what he did. And Thutmose IV became king, and he commemorated that very event in this stela that we call the Dream Stela.
Thutmose followed the message and he became Pharaoh Thutmose IV. The dream stele, also known as the Sphinx stele, narrates that dream. The granite piece of stone is composed of 3 parts and has been placed between the poles of a 6-story Sphinx in Giza. One famous divine revelation made in a dream is that made by a pharaoh and interpreted by Joseph. The pharaoh dreamed of 7 healthy and attractive cows being eaten up by 7 other ugly ones on the Nile's bank. Joseph, who was seen as a medium to God's voice, foresaw that dream as a famine that would strike Egypt in 7 years. Indeed, this would have been the case, but thanks to Joseph's interpretation, the disaster was avoided. This scene has inspired British painter Reginald Arthur Smith, who in 1894 painted the interpretation, with Joseph showing 7 fingers to the pharaoh while interpreting the dream. And the pharaoh, surprised at the news of a prophesied famine, is seen getting slightly out of his throne. The oldest dream book about dream interpretation was from the Egyptian culture, and it dated from 1350 BCE. This book was called the Chester Beatty Papyrus, and it contains several explanations about what dreams are and how they should be interpreted. On one of the papyri from the British Museum, a clear interpretation of a dream has been written down. The translation reads that if a man sees himself in a dream with an erection, it is a bad omen. It means victory for his enemies. In Deir el-Medina, fragments from the private library of Ken Her-Kapesheth, the eldest son and heir of Pharaoh Ramesses III, reveal a dream book in scribes that presumably was used to interpret different kinds of dreams. It contains around 108 dreams which describe actions, events, and emotions. They often specify if dreams are good or bad. If a man sees himself looking out of a window, it is good. It means that God has heard his cry. If a man sees himself drinking a warm beer, it is bad. It means suffering is coming upon him. If a man sees himself beaten by a dog, it is bad. It means that he has been touched by magic.
To sum up, it is clear that dreams were very important in ancient Egyptian culture. They were considered as a means to foresee good things or bad things that would happen upon the dreamers or to people related to them. For others, dreams were interpreted to foresee forthcoming events. For example, in ancient Mesopotamia, King Judea wrote his dreams on a clay tablet that he brought to a temple to seek the help of a goddess to interpret them. For other people, dreams were just attempts to deal with psychic conflicts and also deep-rooted wishes. So it is no wonder that by the 19th century, dream interpretation became a very important field in psychoanalysis.